Hey, good afternoon, team. My name is Kirk Massey, and I'm going to go over in a little more detail uh, three of the different concepts that we need to be looking at. The first concept we're going to look at is exchange rates. Now, an exchange rate is basically is the rate that a country puts on important factors in determining that country's economic health. There are six major factors for determining exchange rates. These are: one, differentials in inflation, which basically means lower inflation will equal rising currency values. Two, differentials in interest rates, meaning that higher interest rates will help attract foreign capital and force a rise in their exchange rate. Current account deficits. Now, this is a deficit in a country's current account, which means they are spending more on foreign trade than they are actually earning. We have public debt, which means a country with a large public debt will also encourage inflation in that country. You have terms of trade, which is a comparison of export prices and import prices. This is related to the current accounts and the balance of payments. Political stability and economic performance. If a country has a strong economic performance and good political stability, it will attract foreign investors. Now, looking at trade barriers and tariffs. Now, what trade barriers are what a country may use to reduce the number of imports coming into the country. This is often accomplished through tariffs, which is basically a form of tax on imports coming in. Now, the top 5 reasons that trade barriers are used are: one, to protect domestic employment. This is done by reducing imports. A country can maintain a stable employment rate. To protect consumers. If a government feels a certain product that is being imported from another country is harmful to the public, they may limit that or place a tariff on it. To protect infant industries. So by limiting imports on products that the country is currently going to start producing or try to produce, then that will enable that country to flourish in their production of that certain product. It's also done for national security. So barriers are sometimes used to protect certain industries that are vitally important to a country's national security. And at times it's done for retaliation. So trade barriers can also be used against a country if it's believed that they are not playing by the rules, or if they start to go against foreign policy. Now, some different types of tariffs and trade barriers that a country utilize are there's specific tariffs, which is a fixed fee that is levied on 1 unit of an imported good. So let's say instead of placing a certain tariff on a case of a certain item, they may actually place a tariff or a tax on that individual item. There's ad valorem tariffs, which is levied on a product based on a percentage of that product's value. It's also barriers can be placed by using licensing. So a license can be granted to certain businesses that will allow them to import items that are otherwise restricted for import. Import quotas, when a restriction is placed on the actual amount of an item that is being imported. There is a voluntary export restraint, which normally is levied at the request of an importing country, but is actually created by the exporting country itself. Local content requirement. Now, this is when a country requires that a certain percentage of a good be made domestically, rather than placing a quota on how much of that good can actually be imported. So trade barriers and tariffs, in the long run, is a benefit to the producer of that good and does more to hurt the consumer. Because what it does is, by causing an increase in the tariffs placed on a country to bring a product over, then that price will be absorbed by the consumer. So the consumer is going to pay more for the actual product. I really hope this helps, team. And if there's anything else I can do, let me know. I'll be touching base with you soon. Thank you.